I'm good. I'm so happy to see you this morning.
Well, oh my goodness, I was so happy to do the work. So,
Oh yeah, you missed the first day. You're
I
right.
know that makes me so, you do the best you can with who you are. That's
Exactly.
it.
Hey, Natalie, so good to see you. Hi, Paula. Hi, Anastasia. Vico. Cheryl. Miri. Oh my God, he grew up. He's a big boy now. God, I remember you when you were pregnant.
Hi, Sahar. Good morning.
Hey, Kevin.
There we go. And
Okay.
I guess we'll all mute ourselves right now, huh?
Okay, so we are at day 3. So today we are doing visualization, find your purpose, and set a goal. So like I said, this is day 3. This is the Facebook, and we're going to go through the homework as we go through the day today. So I have been talking about the Maslow triangle or the Maslow hierarchy of needs for the last couple of days. So I thought to show you a picture of it because it makes, like, I'm a very visual person, and it makes more sense to me when I see something in front of my eyes. So Maslow, they call him the grandfather of motivation. Like, I think it was 1920 when he came back. I mean, don't hold me responsible for the date, but I think it's around that time when he came with that hierarchy of needs. Hierarchy of needs is what motivates us as human beings to actually act. So as you can see, they are 5 levels. And some people took it and modernized it and made it 8 levels, where they stretched each level to 2 or 3. But let's talk about at least the basics. And this had helped me so much in my life. In what I do as coaching or even marketing, to understand who I'm talking to. They always tell you when you are an entrepreneur, you need to understand where your clients are and you need to talk their language. So all of us as human beings go through these levels, 5 levels. The first one is the basic one, and it's called the physiological part. And this is our survival mechanism. This is where there is air, sleep, food, if we're hungry, if we're thirsty, if we're warm or cold, and this is, if you're doing any leadership on the right-hand side, it means the aspiration of the infrastructure of your management that you can be. So that's basic need. The basic need is survival. Without this, our brain cannot function anywhere higher. Like if I was homeless on the street, I cannot aspire to love, to find someone to love me, to be in a tribe, to have self-esteem and to help others. So the second part of it is still security, but it has to do with safety as well. So safety, not only bodily safety, but also emotional, financial, mental safety, and that's the shelter. Basically, if you are a leader, you need to create that level of engagement in your workplace that will let people feel safe. Like most of the people now are at work are doing this Zoom calls, and let's be on Zoom the whole day so I could check if you're working or not, without really understanding what every single person is going through, without giving them guidelines, without giving them that safety, that there is security in numbers, that we're here, without empathy. So if I don't have like the shelter, I don't have that, and I'm sorry, the air, sleep, food, and hunger, I'm not going to be able to think about higher level of security because I'm not going to have that security. And it's also the security of having a job, because it's the financial security of having an income. The third level is what we call love and belonging, is where you have your family, is where you have your family, your family ties, your friends, your affection, maybe a significant other. You have love. As human beings, we are social animals. We need to feel that we belong to something or someone. So it's part of collecting, of basically performing together as a family, as a unit, as a tribe, as colleagues. And if I don't have if I'm having problem breathing or drinking or even eating, I'm not going to be able to get to that level. And if I have all that, but I lose my shelter, I fall into the first level again. And then I need to build up again. The next level is esteem. So we have that tightness of the relationship, that belonging, that family, the friends, the colleagues. And now, okay, after all that, I want to be respected. I want to feel like I'm valued. I want to feel like people care about me. It's my reputation. It's my status. This is what we call the esteem. These are social needs. And in a leadership environment, it means that your goals are actually actualized and you start learning, collaborating with others, rewarding yourself. It's basically the values that you live with. And if you have all this level, now the next level is self-actualization. Self-actualization is when you become like a philanthropist. It's like when you help others, when you volunteer, when you give others, when you are kind, when you have more empathy than anything else. But if I'm here, if I'm this point, and then I lose my significant others, what is going to happen is that I'm going to fall to level 3. And I can't be, I can't have that self-esteem anymore, because I'm going to fall into that depression and I'm not going to care about my status, you know, and I definitely am not going to volunteer to anyone else. So even if I have here self-esteem and then I lose my job, I fall into the second level. But this is the Maslow theory that he has put together. Some people there are a lot of naysayers about it. I personally like it because it gives me an idea where I am and how I can talk to people, figuring out where they are so I can help them go to the next level. And this is basically what self-development is all about, is going from one level to the other. So now we are going to do an exercise. So I want you to, let me see if I have a paper here. I want you to get a paper. I mean, I'm using a small one. And I want you to ply it into 2.
Oh.
Like that. And then again into like that. And then again, it's like that. And then again like that. Where you're basically going to have 8 squares.
8
So ply it in
squares.
half, then in quarter, then 2 more. So you can have 8 squares in your paper. I know I should have had a bigger paper back. So like this, I have 8 squares.
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. Perfect.
Okay. So now I want you to write in one side of the paper, in every square, a goal or something that you always wanted to do that you have never done. And it could be 3 or 4. I mean, it doesn't have to be 8, but I want you to write at least 4. Okay, now reverse the page. And based on every goal or aspiration or want that you had, write down on the opposite side of it why you never got to do it. And I want you to go deep in that. Don't give me superficial answers. So let's discuss a little bit. From most of you, I heard fear. Fear was one of the main things. And I wanted to let you know that fear are like 150 kinds.
Oh.
So there's fear of embarrassment, fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of success. People say, oh my God, what if I'm going to be successful? And you know what's going to happen? People are going to say that I'm changing, I'm becoming materialistic. They're going to stay away from me. They're going to avoid me. They're going to think it got to my head. And we thought all these are lies, 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 and lies that we kind of just find an excuse to ourselves why we are not doing what we're doing. Because again, our brain is pulling us back into that comfort zone. That's what it does. That's its defense mechanism. Believe it or not, they found out that our genes, our DNA goes back to our 7th grandmother and grandfather. So if they were at war and they had this fear and they had this anxiety and stress, we still have it, though we might not know why. So we need to understand that we and Asia and Paula, and for the book, for years I kept saying I need to write a book, and I will start the book and I think it's the best idea in the world, and then I write the first chapter, I'm like, nah, no one will read it. And then I write another book. I wanted to write a story of my book, of my story, my life story. And then someone told me, well, I'm sorry, but you're not Beyonce. Who's gonna write your book? So that, who's gonna read your book? So that took me back a year. And then I started writing something else. And then one day, and I promise you in 2017, and I'm gonna share with you my vision board for that year, I put my book is gonna be out. So by August, I hadn't done anything in the book, but I had all the elements in different places. So I said, okay, it's August, October 18, that is my birthday. That's when I'm publishing my book. Guess what? My book was published October 18. And I said, I don't give a flying whatever if someone buys the book or doesn't buy the book. I don't. It's something that I'm doing for myself. And I want you to remember something. You will never be the cup of tea for everybody. Never. No matter what you do. There will be people that will flock to you. There will be people that will like you. There will be people that will love you. And then there will be people just by looking at you will not even give you a second look. And you know what? It has nothing to do with you. It's on them. That's unconscious bias at its best. So we all have fear. Believe it or not, the minute you push one step out of that fear, you say, you know what? Yes, I have that fear. And I'm very happy that we are all aware at least of what stopped us of doing our goals. That's why intentions are important in setting goals. That's why knowing our why. Like if I want to make money because my why is because I want to provide to my family, then providing to my family will be greater than my fear. That's why whenever we set goals, we need to make sure that that our pain going through something new will be less than the pain if we don't do it. Our passion should be bigger. One thing that I said, okay, rejection. It's just like, you know what? It's not rejection. Again, you're not gonna be good. Cheryl, I want a copy signed. One of the things like judgment, people will judge you no matter what. You know, I had people come to me, I mean, whoever knows me one-on-one, they know that I'm a TED Talk speaker, right? I'm a motivational speaker. I love to speak, right? And some people would come to me and go like, oh, your accent is so funny. And I'm like, thank you. You know, people will always reflect their insecurities on you. Don't own their securities. It's not your story. Every single one of us have a different story. Don't own anyone else's story. Stay in your story, even if your past was very painful. Learn from it. And Anastasia, whatever, I don't know your whole story, but whatever you went through and you want to help people with, do it. Every day or 3 times a week, post something that you think will help someone that is living in domestic abuse. They say that the rate of domestic abuse these days, because of the shelter in place, is a lot higher. Believe it or not, yesterday, Mayor Garcetti, he had a psychologist that spoke, Michelle Colley. She's one of my clients. She was speaking behind Mayor Garcetti, giving people clues on psychology, on how to live during this time. And Natalie, I always say, we are small business owners. Do not let us being small business owners make us small-minded. You know, when I started my business, I went and I said, I'm going to bid for government contracts, right? And I'm like, and all of a sudden that little voice in my brain was like, who you think you are? You really think anyone is going to look at you? You are by yourself? You really think that? And you know what? I said, I pushed through it. I sent something for one of the counties. And you know what? I was a finalist with USC. So I knew that I was doing something right. The next time there was another bid 3 months later, I presented for it and I got it, and it was a $200,000 contract. It was the beginning of my 3rd year in business. If I said I'm too small for them, they would have never picked me. I would have never gone through it. Just do it and expect that it might not be received. You learn from it. Every single time they didn't take my bid, I called. And I said, can you please help me understand why you did not accept my bid? And next time was better, and next time was better. Till now, all my work is with government agencies. I mean, Nani was my client, actually. She was a director of an agency, you know, and she hired me to do work for her, you know, because and she knows, I met her in a meeting, right? She was sitting next to me, and I did not leave that meeting before giving her my business card, telling her what I do, and following up with an email. And basically, I harassed her for a while. You know, that's what we need to do. And it's not like when she said, well, let's talk later, I took it, oh my God, she's rejecting me. No, we need to understand that people sometimes, how many times you receive an email and you say, I'm going to answer it, and then something happens and you totally forget that you do it, that you have to answer an email. So a lot of people are like that. So send a gentle nudge to people. It's not a rejection, you know, and even if it's a rejection, they're not rejecting who you are. They just rejection the situation. I learned in my early years that when someone tells you no, it's not a full no. It's no depending on the circumstances now. That no might change in the future. So we cannot just sit into fear. We need just one step, and it's going to be scary, and change doesn't come overnight. But I promise you, it does work. Yes. So visualization is the next thing that really helped me do a lot of what I'm doing. So visualizing something is like looking, remember what we said the first day, that things happen 2 times. You first create it in your brain, and then you see it happening in reality. So the first thing that you need to do for something to happen is to create it in your brain. You visualize it, and it will increase the desire for you to make it happen in reality. And when you start doing a goal and set the intention for it, look at it as if it already happened. It's already there. And that's why don't say, I will walk, I will do the 5K marathon, for example. Say, I'm doing the 5K marathon. The way, remember we talked yesterday about the power of words? The way you talk to your mind has a big effect on you doing or not doing your goals. And one of the best visualization, you know what I do when I went, like for the book, I went and on the internet and I choose the best picture I liked for a book and I put it on my vision board. So whatever you want to do, go look for a picture that you feel connected to. And Stephen Covey always said, Stephen Covey is the great author that wrote 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The second habit was start with the end in mind. Meaning, look at your destination, where you want to go, and then when you are there, you will know what you need to get there. And yet, then you can walk it backwards. So start with the end in mind. So you need to put intention in your vision, exactly in details what you want out of this life. That's why we spoke about clarity yesterday. And more so, picture the picture that you want to be is here. And then around it, picture the energy that you are putting on it. Is it positive or is it negative? Like, I want to write a book, but I don't have the time. Guess what you're doing? You're putting negative energy. I want to write a book, or I want to do a play, but no one will see it or no one will read it. You are already defeating yourself. You're putting around your dream or your goal or your intentions, you're putting negative energy around it. Like wanting to lose weight. Okay, I want to lose weight, but I was never able to do it before. You are already self-defeating yourself. You are creating a self-prophecy that since it never happened, it will never happen again. So you're already setting yourself for failure. And you know why we're doing that? Because your brain is telling you, hey, be safe. Get back to your comfort zone. Because whatever you're trying to do, I perceive it as danger. And I don't want you to be hurt. So guess what? Come back to where you are safe and come back to what you are used to. Okay, I'll talk about that, Leslie, in a second. Yes. So we are actually going to do together a visualization exercise. So Leslie, when my sometimes, and I know some people on this call do visualization and do manifestation. So what happened in visualization, when sometimes I think about something, when I'm meditating and I think about it, I put it here, what the mind eye, I put it here. And you know, we call it the monkey brain, right? The monkey brain is that shatter in your brain that keeps going like that. So it takes you away from your concentration. And when it happens, I just stop and I refocus myself again. Maybe I feel my feet more on the ground because this is grounding me. Or I look for my center. Or I look, what I usually do is that I keep focusing like behind in that dark tunnel. And I go through that tunnel till I see like a light. And it does take training to do that. But I will suggest highly that you start doing that. You need to ground and center yourself. You know, look for something always before you start. Look for something that talk to yourself that if my mind is going to be somewhere else, this will be my center to go back to. So you need to prepare yourself even before doing that. So I want you to be very comfortable in where you're sitting. Okay. I want you to, hopefully you are in a place that you feel it's yours. So this is how visualization works. You sit in a place, you put your feet on the ground and you're touching the ground. And some people say, feel like there is a cord that comes from the earth through your feet, through your spine, to your head. But this, I'm telling you, it took me a while to learn how to do that. So I did a lot of guided meditation. But whenever you want to visualize, sit like this and start closing your eyes and deep breathe. And when you're sitting, make sure that if you are touching a pen, make sure how you are touching it. How does it feel? Is it round? Is it square? How does it feel? If you're sitting on a chair, are you feeling the armchairs around you? And I want you to breathe. Will you speak at the power of attraction versus sign gravity? Is that force? If we have time on that mic, I will. If not, I can talk to you one-on-one. So sit down on the chair and try to touch everything around you. This is the most important part. Visualization is about centering yourself, like centering yourself where you are sitting. I want you to breathe, and breathing meaning take from your nose 4 in, count of 4, hold it, count of 4, and get it out of your mouth, count of 8. I want you to do that 3 to 5 times. Relax. Breathe. Now I want you to think about one area in your life that you want to achieve something in. One area. It could be losing weight, it could be building a better relationship with your family, solving a conflict, or it could be getting a better job, or starting a business, or growing your business. And I want you to go there. use your 5 senses. When you get there, what are you feeling? What are you smelling? What are you hearing? What are you seeing? What are you touching? Keep breathing. Take as much details as you can and go deeper. Ask yourself, what will I see when I'm here? What will I have? Breathe. 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 4 in, hold for 4, out in 8. What you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, and what you touch. If you are on a beach, do you feel the sand between your toes? Do you feel the sun on your skin? Do you smell the breeze of the ocean? Do you hear the birds chirping? Okay, I want you to wiggle your toes or your fingers and open your eyes. Did we see anything? Sometimes it's not easy the first time, but this is how you need to train yourself. Did anyone see anything? Awesome, awesome. And I want you to start thinking, when this happens, how I'm gonna celebrate it. Remember yesterday we talked about rewarding yourself? You need to start training yourself. Take 5 minutes before you start your day. Do this exercise, 5 minutes. Keep doing it till it becomes your reality. And believe it or not, remember, things happen twice. Once in your brain, and once your brain see it, it doesn't see it as danger anymore. So it doesn't stop you from doing it. So all these fears that you have in your brain will subside little bit by little bit. So make it a reality, and you have to have your 5, the 5 senses together. Thanks, Leslie. The 5 senses together. You know, like, believe it or not, in the morning when I drink my coffee, 1 second, Mike. When I drink my coffee, I hold my mug and I feel how warm it is in between my hand. I smell the aroma. I taste it going down. You know what I mean? And I hear, because I live in an area, like you saw yesterday, I live like in the country. I hear the birds, you know, the trees, you know, the wind. It's everything. And that's when we do that. When we use our 5 senses, we are present. And when we are present is when we are the most aware of everything around us. So once you reward yourself, start asking yourself how other people are gonna see me in what I achieved. Yes, there will always be the naysayers. There will always be the people that say, oh, it got to, and I had that happen to me. Oh, now that I had a dear friend of mine, very close friend of mine of 10 years tell me, oh, now that you have all these accolades and people liking you, you don't care about me anymore. And I felt that insecurity, you know, not from me, you know, because I know I do not neglect my friends. And I actually had a long talk with her. And it had nothing to do with me. She was going through a lot of stuff. And this was like the icing on the cake. because I did not answer an email in 24 hours. You know what I mean? But I had empathy. I did not say, oh, well, whatever. If you feel this way, it's on you. But I had empathy, because when you know someone, you know what they can do, or what is normal to them to do, and what is abnormal for them to do. So please do that. And again, if you get your chatter, make yourself concentrate back. One of this meditation, I wanted always to know who's my guardian angel. You know, I'm very spiritual. I like nature. I like the universe, you know, and I kept seeing sitting Buddha no matter what I did. And that's why if you see behind me, I have sitting Buddha. I have it everywhere in the house, in my office, in the living room. We have it in the garden, everywhere, because I felt that this was my guardian angel. This is the one where I could see more. So, okay, I'm glad we were able to do this together. I really am. Okay, we talked about that. Okay, vision boards. A vision board is the icing of the cake. A vision board is something that you create. What I do, usually people write things or cut pictures from magazines. I go to the internet and I put it online together, and then I send it to my printer to print for me. And what I do, you have to hang it in a visible place. Like if you are working in an office, have it right in front of you, and have a smaller one on your fridge, because it takes our brain 7 times to see something to make it happen. So have it in front of you. Your biggest goal has to be right in the middle, and make it big, and things are around it. So this is my vision board in 2017. Okay, so I had love our little family. I wanted a convertible BMW, and my husband wanted a convertible Camaro. I wanted happiness. I don't need a lot of friends, just the loyal ones. I wanted to do a podcast. I wanted to do a TED Talk. We wanted to buy a house by the water, travel, be on TV, help others, and have money, and have big contracts. That year, I started my podcast. I did my TED Talk. We bought a house, not on the water, but we bought it in La Quinta. So we have a second house, and we traveled a lot. I helped a lot of people. I signed big contracts, and I got my BMW. It wasn't convertible, but I got a 640. The only thing is that my husband didn't get a Camaro. He got another car. But see, like 70% of my vision board, I made it happen, because I was aware of my plan, because it was in front of my eyes at all times. So my brain, and every year, that's what I do. I put a vision board, you know, and I do everything that to do it. I'm convinced that was very personal. Yeah, but I don't mind. I don't mind sharing it, colleagues. It's just like, it's something that I wanted you to see, because these are my dogs. These are my life. You know, they're my little kids, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. You know, whatever you envision, your subconscious, that is 70% of your brain, will find a way to let your conscious do it. But it has to see it. It has to become a new normal. This way, the brain will not feel it as danger. Even now in the COVID-19 that we're in, everybody started being overwhelmed and crazy about it. Oh my God, we're gonna die. Or people say it's not true, but it, you know, and now it has been, what, 6 weeks? And it's becoming a new normal. We wake up every day, and it's like, okay, it's what we live. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Make your brain see it first, and then it will become part of your normal. Okay, so we said we wanted to find our purpose. So purpose is living your life from the inside out, and it has nothing to do with sometimes what you do as work. You will be very lucky if your purpose is what you're doing. So, and it's not about how you fit in the society or how you please anyone, and it's not about waiting for approval from anybody. That's not the purpose of your life. It's about being honest with yourself to align your values and your vision with exactly what you're doing. It's your inner calling. And what's sad is that a lot of people can die without finding what their purpose is, and it's a waste. So it's that voice inside of you, that intuition, that inner calling, that little voice that speaks to you. so many times, but we usually muffle it due to fear and self-doubts. That's why we say, I want to write a book. Yeah, but who's going to read it? I want to write a play. Yeah, but who's going to watch it? I want to be a motivational speaker. Oh, people are going to laugh at me. You know, all that. And I'm telling you, when I started doing training, I usually do evaluation at the end of the class. And in the beginning, like the first probably 6 months, I would look at the evaluation. And if someone marked like something negative about how the temperature in the room was, like cold or hot, and it's not my building, it's not my workplace, you know, I just go and deliver a lecture there or a training or a workshop, you know what happens? I wouldn't sleep for a week. It will keep coming back in my mind. It's like, oh my God, you're not good enough. See, I told you that people are not going to like you, and it had nothing to do with me. And I had to have talks and talks and talks with myself till I decided, you know what, there will always be people in a workshop that will be troublemakers, that will not like you, that will always try to make themselves that they know better than you. But this is their insecurity, and it had nothing to do with me. Whenever something happened, I want you to look at it as if you are looking at it from a visor, like the window of your car. So you become an observer and you become detached from what's really going on. And this way you can kind of make decisions or think in a more rationalized way. So that's the purpose. And then we talked about, so the purpose, I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions, because we are going to end today with an exercise about purpose. What is the legacy you want to be remembered for? Are you there yet? If not, how close are you? And what is the next step that will take you closer to your purpose? So what is the legacy you want to be remembered by? So there are 2 ways to think about this. There is one that is kind of morose, and there is one that is okay. The one that is okay is like, it's your retirement day. If you are in your retirement and someone is on a podium singing your praises, what will they be saying? What do you want them to say? What is the impact that you want to leave behind you? And it's not your role, and it's not your job. What is it that you want to be remembered for? What impact that you want to leave behind you in this world? We are all here for a purpose. What is that for you? Are you there yet? Are you close? Did you ever think about it? If you never did, what can you do today? One step to get you closer to that purpose. And then we'll talk about passion. Passion and purpose are different. They're not the same, and people mix them. So passion is what you would wake up every single morning doing, even if you're not paid for it. So Mihaly, I can never say the last name. I mean, Mihaly is a psychologist, and he said, when you work your passion, you are in a state of flow. And a state of flow meaning that you are so engaged in it that you do not notice that activity anymore. It's like you are flowing in doing whatever you're doing. It's like you don't notice time, you don't notice who's around you, nothing. It's just like, and you do it with love, and it's from your inside out, like nothing else matters. And if you want to know what your passion is, this is what I tell my clients to do. Write 5 things that are very dear to your heart, that you know when you talk about it, your eyes shine. Like when I talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, people tell me that my eyes bright up. What is that thing that makes you smile without even you intending to smile? 5 things. Go to your family and ask them, what are the 5 things that you think you're good at? Or why, what are the things that they come to you for advice for? Your family. And then do the same with your friends. So you have 5, 5, and 5. Find what's common between these 3 columns. Usually this is where you can find your flow. This is where you can find your passion. Guys, it has been a pleasure serving you the last 3 days. and Vico and me are going to go hard working for next week. You know, so I'm very humbled that we have been together for the last 3 days. I love you all, I really do.